All right, like I said, with this stack of wood right in the middle of the garage, I've not been able to do anything. I've got my table saw kind of kicked to the corner over there. I've got this rated alarm saw. Nothing is functional. So I'm so glad to have that barn, and I'll be glad when we get everything moved over there and organized properly. All right, everybody, welcome to the new project. This happens to be Maya's new apartment that we're standing in here. This is the old detached garage where I've done a lot of my woodworking projects that's separated from the main part of the house. But now that we have the big barn built and everything is out there, the prior agreement was this would be converted over into a studio apartment for Maya to get out of her mom's hair. I mean, to enjoy her nice peace and tranquility by herself. All right, so where the camera is at is where the door and the door with the side light, the glass down the side of the door is going to go. Overall dimensions of this garage on the inside is 21.5 feet wide by 24.5 feet deep. As you can see, we got blue painter's tape on the ground here, and I'll walk you through and show you. But in this far corner over here is where the shower, the toilet, and a sink are going to go right here. Maya's bed is going to be in the back. You can see the tape right here. And then on this corner will be her bedroom closet with a divider wall that comes out separating the bedroom from the living room section. So let's bring you on in and show you. So we're going to wall up this garage door entry here, and this is where the door is going to go, is right here where the side of this garage door is. Right here beside it is where Maya's stove, sink, and the refrigerator will be where she's standing along the back wall over here. So she's going to have a nice big open kitchen right here. Now we have an air conditioning unit here that I put in whenever I was using this as my shop. We're actually going to take that out and board that up and convert that back to a wall. We're going to put a mini split AC system right here above it somewhere. This is going to be a big undertaking because we've got to install full plumbing, full electrical in order to get this up to a living space. Now, we've got a permit pulled, and the guy's supposed to be coming out this coming week to put in a septic tank. Today's project happens to be installing the septic lines that are going to carry all the bathroom underneath the wall here and tie into the septic tank that's going on the other side here. And the septic tank landfill or septic line fields are going to be off the back. All that is already planned, and we'll show you a little bit of that whenever that's getting installed. So as far as this wall here, we measured out 9 feet here, and then I can't remember how far out it is, but there's a little gap right here. We're going to put a sliding barn door right here, and then we're going to have to build that wall out for the other side of her shower. I went to my buddy Chip over at Hidden Oaks Homestead this morning and got their little mini jackhammer sitting right over here in the corner. I'm going to mark out where the little septic and drain lines are going out the back. I'm going to use my circular saw with the masonry blade. We're going to cut a trench, and then we're going to use the jackhammer to jackhammer that concrete out of there. We're going to put all the septic lines in, the drain lines, and then mortar back over all of that. And so that's what we're going to show you today. All right, guys, we're 4.5 minutes into this video. Let's go ahead and get started, and we're just going to bring you along for all this and show you everything that goes into converting a detached garage into an apartment. Hope you enjoy the video. Okay, I was using the little drill, broke the bit. I got to replace the bit. I said, well, it's taken me like 2 hours just to do 2 foot. I wanted to hurry and get this done, so I decided to go ahead and rent a bigger jackhammer for 60 something dollars at Home Depot for 4 hours. And I just cranked it up and busted big chunks of concrete right out. Looks like I'm gonna be returning this thing in about 5 minutes. Hi guys, time for an update. We have made a lot of progress on the septic system behind me. It was a little rough go, and let's talk about what everything that happened along the way. First, I took my skill saw, which had a masonry blade on it, and you saw me cutting the initial area that I was going to work in. And then my friend Chip had the chisel hammer that he loaned me, and I started working on that, and it just wasn't, it was too much effort for the amount of progress I was making with that little chisel. I went to Home Depot and I paid under $100 for 4 hours rental on the jackhammer. Literally took me 5 minutes to bust the rest of this concrete out. Turned around, took it back. So I live an hour from Home Depot, and so it was an hour here, 5 minutes of use, an hour back, and I got it returned in the 2 hour window of the 4 hours that I was allotted. So any kind of future concrete busting I'm going to have in the future, I'm going to rent the jackhammer. It is worth the money. Okay, so right here is where the footer is under the building. I had to go 20 inches down before I hit the area to where I could go underneath the footer. And so I just took my little hand auger and I went under there. I drilled from the outside in and then from the inside out to where the 2 holes met. And so I had a nice little hole about this big around, and I was able to shove my 3-inch pipe through there. I can fit some other stuff through there. I'm going to end up running my water supply into the house right along beside the drainage pipe here. So we ended up with 6 feet of pipe, 3-inch pipe. Over there is the shower, and you see my P-trap right here. And then right here is the septic. And then over here is another 2-inch line that comes up. And right here is where the vanity sink is going to go. And I'm also using an air venting mechanism on top of this to supply air so that everything, it could pull the air that it needs to flush everything out. With the 6-foot pipe, the slope of the pipe, so everything flows downhill, is 1.5 inches higher on this end than it is on the outside of the building out there. And I got about this much area on the outside of the building, so when the guy comes in a week or so to put in the septic tank, he's got plenty of pipe that he can grab and make the connections. All right, so I'm going to leave this uncovered. When the plumber comes to install my septic, I'm just going to have him give me the once over before I cover everything up. And he's a licensed plumber. I'm not. I feel good about the work that I've done, but it always helps to make sure we're heading in the right direction. Let's go ahead and move on and start working on some of the electrical. Okay, on to electrical. I'm out here at the back corner of the soon-to-be apartment. I went to my local power company, and when you tell them that you want to do an install, they come out, they do a site quote, and then they go back and they take all those measurements, and they give you an option on putting in the meter. You can buy one, or you can wire it up yourself. If you choose to wire it up yourself, they give you the box, they give you a sheet with a diagram on it with pretty basic explanation on what needs to happen. I went to my big box store and I got this 200 amp with a main breaker at the top, and I come out here and I drilled holes in the side of my building and hung it right here, but I built this unit inside my house while we were all watching TV at night. Essentially, I have a 2-inch inlet where it's going to come from under the ground, and my supply cable is going to hook into here. And they will do all this whenever they get here, whenever they trench the power cable, and they'll run it into the box, and then they'll connect here. So you have 2 lugs here for your 2 hot wires, and then you have a lug down here for your neutral and a lug here for your ground wire. I've got my 8-foot ground copper grounding rod that I've got to drive into the ground, put a clamp on there, and then put my bare copper wire ground on there. I haven't done that yet. I took some 2-gauge wire that I had when I wired up the feed wire out to my barn left over. So I, on this lug, put a hot wire, ran this over and put it on my breaker up here. Same thing with this other hot wire, ran it through, put it on the breaker up here. I know I've got a little bit of pipe right here, 6-inch pipe, and this doesn't have to have hardly any space, but you have to have a screw on this side, a screw on this side, a collar on this side, a collar on this side, those requirements. Welcome everybody to MTV Cribs. Today, on today's episode, we're building the crib.
This is her kitchen, or what will be her kitchen. Her front door, her living room, and then this is her bedroom, equipped with a closet, and then this is her bathroom. Oops. Clicked on the wrong switch. Shower. This is it. This is all we have left to do. You got any last parting words for the final top row?
It's been real. It's been fun. The show ain't been real fun.
Yeah, long time ago. It's been a while. But it was the same flooring. You need some help? Ow. 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 We did it. Over 7 months, we converted this detached garage into an apartment for our daughter. All right, let's start on the outside. The first thing that we had to do is we had to take down this garage door that was right here. And there was an entryway, a personnel door that was right here. So we took all that out. We put in studs. We went to the sawmill that we have in the backyard. We cut out some cypress boards, stain. We did board and batten right here. We got this door and we've relocated the door over here. And that's for one good reason. And the only reason that this door went right here is because my wife said so. No, it's because the couch that we had on the inside of the house was going over here. And we took measurements off the couch and this is right where the door landed. Welcome to MTV Cribs. All right, like I mentioned on the outside, the first thing that we did was we factored in where was the couch going to go. And so we determined that the couch was going to land about right here. So this door, this is where we decided to put the door in. And then this door jamb over here is where the original garage door was framed up.
It went in perfectly with no space
Got no space to spare.
to spare.
All right, when we decided to do this build, I went inside and I got Michelle and I got a roll of painter's tape, and we decided where was the bed going to go, and we laid out painter's tape on the floor. Where was the bathroom going to go and what size is it, and that's where painter's tape went. We did the same thing for the closet, for the dishwasher, for the sink, and for the stove, so that we could step back and in our pre-planning make any adjustments. And we made a few along the way, but this is ultimately what we went with. So I had to come in and pull out all the electrical that was in the overhead and totally rewire everything. And along with the rewiring, we had our electric company come out and install power from the pole to a breaker box. I went to them and I picked up the meter box, and they give it to me in a box, and I bought all the components at my local big box store, and I ended up putting that meter box together, and they came in and they just hooked to it. So all the cabinets in here, they were bought off Facebook yard sales. The stove came originally out of our house, it's been sitting in our garage for a year. The sink came out of our house, so we recently upgraded our sink. The island, which doubles as a dining table, we got off of Facebook yard sales. Now, the neatest thing that really sold Michelle on this, and I didn't do any of the picking out, and she did all the decorating and all the picking out, but this table comes way on out here. And so 3 people can comfortably dine at this table. But at the same time, Maya can turn around and use this island as a workspace while she's trying to prepare her meals. And then there's little cabinet doors, little shelves down in there for her to store some goods. Now, we didn't skimp on the dishwasher. We got the dishwasher brand new. In a previous video where we did the sliding barn door build, we had mentioned that these shelves, my mom had pulled this little pine tree up out of a field and planted it in our yard whenever I was a little kid, and it grew up to a nice big pine tree, and the beetles got in it and killed it. Well, we had just bought a sawmill about the time she took the tree down, and so we sawed the lumber out 3 years ago, and it had been drying this whole time. So that's where the wood for these shelves and the sliding barn door that goes over the bathroom came from. Michelle had this great idea of using 3/4 inch iron pipe as shelf support, and they are on 16-inch centers, and they are screwed right into the studs of the wall. The pantry you see here with the glass shelves is a curio cabinet that we also got off of Facebook yard sales at a good reasonable price.
And it has a light in it that shines down through all the shelves.
In curio cabinet fashion. Brand new refrigerator, just got here yesterday.
And the flooring, check out the flooring.
Yep, got the flooring at Sam's Wholesale. Bought it on clearance, I believe, so you got a good deal on it there.
Let's go into the bedroom.
All right, so the very first thing that we did in this build after we got it all cleaned out is we figured where was the septic going to go, and let's start the plumbing. That's the hard part because we need to bust through concrete to get that done. So we rented a jackhammer and got busy putting in the drain pipes for the plumbing. So after we got it all built, the sheetrock in, and everything, the finishing began with the bathroom. Michelle and Maya picked out this porcelain tile. We went with thin grout lines, Got the shower kit off of Amazon, and we spent almost 2 weeks building out this bathroom and putting up these tiles, putting down the drain pan, plumbing in the toilet and the sink. So the bathroom size is a 4x9. The bedroom area comes 9 foot out and before it hits the wall. So therefore the closet is also a 9 foot wide closet, which we took some cedar that we had sawn on the sawmill and we built shelves into the side of the closet. So we have cedar shelves. The rack is mounted on a cedar board that is screwed into the studs, so that's not ever going anywhere. And then she's got some shelves right there in the back also.
Lots of storage.
Lots of room. Put a bottom shelf down here. Michelle's dad was an 18-wheeler driver, and one of those long shipping poles they move inside the cargo part of the trailer, he had one of those in his rig. So she took that out and we made a clothes pole on that. So that steel pole's doing a good job of holding all those clothes up without any support. They decided to go with track lighting that would shine in through the closet rather than putting lights actually in the closet. They just chose to shine the light into it.
Privacy, pull the curtains.
And for privacy, in case there are any visitors, you can pull. You don't just pull the curtains.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe this was a bad idea.
There.
And for added privacy, you can pull the curtains and divide the room off. All right, so where did we put the hot water heater? Let's talk about some of the plumbing situation. We mentioned that we put in the drain pipes. We also ran the water supply from our house up through the same hole that we plumbed in from the toilet. So the water supply actually comes into the bathroom underneath the bathroom sink. And then we went overhead with the pipes rather than bust up the concrete and lay pipes through the foundation. Our hot water and cold water supply lines are insulated in the attic. We originally was going to try to put the hot water heater in the shower where it would be logical, where you would use the quickest, hottest water at. But it just made more sense to move the hot water heater into the kitchen. And we went with an on-demand hot water heater that we had just gotten off Amazon. And it's a 60 amp circuit, so it's on its own wire circuit. So you can see the hot water heater. Well, there's the filter. So we bought a water filter that filters the water before it actually goes into the hot water heater. The hot water heater's right there on that back wall. And then that's where our hot water comes into the system at. We tied it all in right there. One of the added features that Maya really wanted in her apartment is having a pot filler. It was a luxury item, one of her only requests that she really, really wanted. So we plumbed in water over here, right over the sink. And so now she can fill up her pots with actually moving the pot to the sink and then moving it back over. And so that's a little more convenient for her. We have the exhaust hood. We put in an exhaust on the roof. So that's an external exhausting fan. We did the same thing in the bathroom. The bathroom exhaust fan is exhausted to the outside air. All right, guys, you won't believe this, but all in all the way down to bare studs, putting in the insulation, putting in the plumbing, all the appliances, flooring, sheetrock, everything. We did most everything ourselves. We did not spray the insulation, and we hired a sheetrock finisher to finish out the sheetrock after we hung it. All in all, we are $15,000 into this build. You're not going to find a 550 square foot apartment that cheap unless you build it yourself. This wasn't hard at all. If we had to pour the foundation and build the walls and put up the roof, probably add another $10,000 to it. DIY is the way to go. If you want to do it cheap, do it yourself. And it only took us almost 7 months to do this entire build. And that's just an hour here, an hour there. And then right towards the end, we cranked out some full days doing it. So we're probably only a few hundred hours into this entire build. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed this build series. Like, share, leave us a comment. Tell us some of the things you like about the apartment. Remember, keep growing, keep building, and always keep adventuring. Together, we're Flumpton Famous. We'll see you on the next one.